This took a dark turn.
But it's not necessarily even the dark. I'm talking about on some, like you out in the street shit. But just the same when you going to talk to these fucking agents and managers and shit. They can promise you the world. They don't rob you with guns. They rob you with the words and the papers and shit. That's some Jadakiss, by the way. They do that. It's not everybody is a fucking shark, bro. Some motherfuckers get you with the knife. Some get you with the pen, bro.
Ooh. You got like on the pin?
Yeah, everybody has, but that's part of the game though. Knowing your worth. If you don't never know what these people made off of this shit, you just know what you agreed to.
Right. What can just to keep it maybe towards comedians more, because that's the world we're in, is like what are some maybe red flags we can keep an eye out for from mistakes or lessons you've had to learn?
The red flags is don't be out here trusting people. Don't be believing this shit, man. If it sound too good to be true, it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's out here looking for your best interest, and don't nobody give a fuck about your feelings. The sooner you learn that shit, the better you can understand it. The person you ride, your homie, it might be your dog. You might have anything, bro. But don't never think that somebody's gonna do something for you just because they fuck with you. Nobody. It's all a business, man. And you start to see it once you start working it like business. They don't give a fuck about who you think is funny or whatever. They gonna put whoever on this show. Because that's what they doing. It's their club. They hired you, but they hired these other motherfuckers too.
Oh. What other business advice could you share?
Like I said, invest in yourself and find another way. Find more than one way to get paid. Don't just get paid off telling jokes, because people steal jokes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the people not gonna check to see who wrote it. They don't give a fuck. They just know who. Excuse me. They just laughed at it because that's what was available at the time. They don't give a fuck who it came from or how old this joke is. None of that. Just get your money and don't never worry about what somebody else doing. You might get hired and be doing the exact same shit, and these motherfuckers standing right beside you got paid 5 times more than you just because they asked for it and you didn't. Because they had the right infrastructure set up, they handled business, they had the right manager, the right agent, and they got what they asked for.
So that plays a big part into it, your team.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta, like, you can't be successful by yourself, man.
See, now you're saying you got to look out for yourself, but then you can't be successful by yourself.
Nobody gets successful by themselves.
Huh.
Don't never believe that. Nobody. You start fucking around and paying attention to how people get into the industry. The industry is always somebody else who got them in there. Somebody's uncle was a producer, or their dad wrote a Motown song. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You never know the connections. Your name will get you a whole lot further than your talent will. Your reputation precedes you. Being funny is that's just one of the 10 things you got to do to be in the conversation. And you can't just be fly by night funny. You got to be consistently funny. It's people who are at the top of the game who want to fuck with you, but they just want to see how you handle the next 3 years, or see how you develop and what kind of sense you have in the next year. So where you at? Can you stay in there? A lot of people come and go. Can you stay hot? Like, getting hot is easy because don't nobody know you. You do magic every night. Like, where did it come from?
Right.
And then you get in that position where it's like, now you're expected to create magic. Are you really a magician?
It's a great analogy.
Yeah. It's the facts, though, man. It's the facts. Like, motherfuckers want to be in that spot, but then when you get in that spot, and you got to do that hour and a half after everybody in the club just came and did their best shit, can you do it? Are you made of that? You really made of, man. It's the 3rd show of the night. Can you do 3 a night? That's what headliners do. Can you come on stage and say, fuck it, I'm out here? Where your improv shit at? Are you off the cuff, or you can only tell jokes that you wrote? You might be a headliner, but what if you only got exactly 1 hour of jokes to tell?
Yeah, word for word. How do you freestyle? What is the technique behind it? Because I'll try sometimes, but then if one thing misses, I may start to doubt, and then I'll start to work backwards. But I've seen potential in it, but I end up tucking my tail and running.
Nah, you can't do that, bro. When you telling jokes, you don't wait for this crowd to approve this shit as funny. You tell the joke like you tell that shit with the same conviction as you tell your joke that you know is a banger. Because it's not the joke that's funny. It's you. You got to be a funny person. That's why I always wonder how some people made it to, this long. Because they're not funny people. They're not funny at school. They're not funny at work. They weren't funny growing up. They never made me laugh in all these years I've known them. Like, what is it that you are doing? How are you sustaining? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who is booking this motherfucker? How do they have a demand?
Maybe they have a good team.
Exactly. Some people do.
So it's how you say your joke. It's because you can get caught up in the writing.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You have to detach yourself from, I'm a comedian, here's a joke. That's so cookie cutter. It's not being a comedian. It's not the joke. Comedians make shit funny. The shit don't, you know what I mean? You don't, and making something funny doesn't mean going on stage a bunch of times and saying that shit and trying to figure out to make it funny. Like a comedian is the type of person who can be going into an audition and might say one word wrong 50 times, but it's funny every time they fuck up. That's a comedian. Now a comic can sit at home all day and write jokes and flip channels and do little interpretations of what this comedian said, a little word flip here and there. But that's all prepared shit. They do their impression of a comedian. They put all black on and a little goofy ass hat and want to tell jokes with a mic stand and a stool, because that's what the essence of comedy. But they're not funny people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people just don't have that natural spark. They can deliver a joke, or they can say some shit somebody wrote for them, but they're not funny people.
So it's different skill sets. So maybe somebody may be a better joke writer and not as good improviser.
Right.
But they can still be.
That's just like saying, I'll use instruments all the time, bro. It's just like saying you're a dope-ass trumpet player, but you can only play a song if you got the music. You don't really know how to play that motherfucker. You don't really know how to play that shit. Like, if you know what I'm saying? You see people play basketball. Some motherfuckers are great basketball players, and they're good. Like any other court you put them on, they are fucking amazing. But then you put them on a court with LeBron and fucking Steph Curry and KD, and they look like children. You get what I'm saying? They're not built for that. They body really physically not built for that, bro. It's like you just not made for this shit. Mm-hmm. You the best point guard in the league, but you can never be a fucking small forward. You'll never be a center. But then there's some motherfuckers who you can put them on the court and you don't even have to tell them what to do. There's some people just naturally gifted. The Bo Jacksons, the Deion Sanders, the fucking, you know what I'm saying? The talent just fucking proceed. The Odell Beckhams. They can do any fucking thing, bro. And they're good at it. If they're not good at it, they're at least good enough at it to captivate you and make you watch them not be good at it.
So you got to have self-belief too.
Man.
That's got to play into it. That confidence seems, the longer I've been doing comedy, I've been doing it over 8 years now, and it seems like confidence can really drive the audience response.
Yeah, man. If you can make people like you, it doesn't matter what you say, because they like you. They want you. When people like you, they treat you different, because you give them something. You give them a feeling. It's happiness. If you can make people happy, fuck what you do. Fuck the jokes that you told. They'll come see you 100 times because you make them happy. It's an atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You acknowledge them. You talk to people different. That's the part that when you can find out what makes people like you, that's what'll make you a star. That's why Kevin Hart is winning so hard right now. He found out how to make people like him. He's a likable, you want to see him win. you celebrate his victories with him because it make you feel like you're a part of him.
So find out what people like about you.
Right. It might not necessarily be the jokes. It might be your stupid ass pants or your little boyish grin or your voice. Or they just might like you because you're a tall motherfucker. Or they might like you because you're a pretty fat motherfucker. Or you're just a fly person. You smell good. You carry yourself different. You got a different swag. Your delivery. You got an accent from where you from. It all go back to you though. Like
Yeah.
what type, you gotta find, like this is my best advice. Find a highlighter and use it on yourself. Like if you're a woman with some big ass titties, let people know you got them shits. Or you got big brown ass or whatever the fuck. All of these are your weapons. If you can sing, if you can do an impression, you can sound just like a motherfucker. These are all talents you bring to the stage because they can only get that shit from you.
Boom. And you have a lot of different talents, man. How are you planning on using these going forward?